Every time I blinked, he was closer. I noticed it because I couldn't stop blinking. My eyes were burning from staring at the screen too long, but every time I looked away, something felt wrong. Not obvious, not dramatic, just wrong enough to make my chest tighten. The security camera feed was playing on my laptop, the familiar, grainy view of my backyard glowing softly in the dark room. Nothing unusual at first. The fence, the tree, the empty space near the shed. And then there was him. A man stood near the back fence, facing the house. He wasn't doing anything. He wasn't moving. He was just there. At first, I assumed I had missed him earlier. Maybe he'd walked in from the alley. Maybe he was lost. Maybe it was nothing. But the longer I stared, the more I realized something unsettling. He never moved. I watched the feed for several minutes. His posture didn't shift. His head didn't tilt. His arms didn't sway in the wind. He stood perfectly still, like a paused video. I rubbed my eyes and blinked. When I looked back at the screen, he was closer. Not by much, just a step. I leaned forward, my breath shallow. The feed was live, I was sure of it. The timestamp confirmed it. The seconds were ticking normally in the corner. I blinked again, closer. My stomach dropped. I tested it. I stared as hard as I could, forcing my eyes to stay open. They watered, burned, ached, but he didn't move. The moment I blinked, he advanced, always during the blink, always unseen. I slammed the laptop shut, heart pounding, and sat in the dark listening to my own breathing. After a long minute, I opened it again. The man was still there, closer now, near the edge of the patio. I told myself it was lag, compression artifacts, my imagination filling in gaps. So I did the only thing that made sense. I started recording the screen. Frame by frame, I reviewed the footage. And that's when I noticed something that made my hands shake. In every single frame, he was in a different position. Not blurred, not smeared, different. His foot slightly lifted, his shoulders angled, his head fractionally turned. He had never been standing still. He was moving faster than the camera could properly capture, faster than my eyes could see, and always, during the moment I wasn't looking. The last recorded frame froze me in place. The man wasn't near the fence anymore. He was standing at the glass door, facing directly into the camera. I didn't remember him crossing the yard. I didn't remember him reaching the house. The footage didn't show it either. That was when I heard the sound behind me. Breathing, slow, controlled, too close. I stayed perfectly still. I didn't blink. The breathing stopped. I stared at my reflection in the black screen of the laptop, afraid to move, afraid to look away, because I finally understood the truth. He wasn't trying to break in. He wasn't testing the camera. He was learning when I wasn't watching. And the moment I blink, he gets closer. If this story is making your skin crawl, you can leave a like. It helps more than you think. I didn't sleep that night, not because I was afraid to close my eyes, but because I was afraid of what would happen if I opened them again. I stayed exactly where I was, sitting in front of the laptop, the dark screen reflecting my face back at me. My eyes burned. My neck ached. My body begged me to blink. I didn't. Minutes passed. Maybe hours. Time felt wrong, stretched thin, like it was waiting for me to make a mistake. Eventually, I reached for the laptop and opened it again. The security feed came back to life. The glass door was empty. My heart jumped, a rush of relief flooding my chest so fast it made me dizzy. I scanned the yard, the fence line, the shadows near the trees. Nothing. I laughed quietly, a short, shaky sound, and finally let myself blink. The sound came immediately, a soft click, not loud, not aggressive, just deliberate. I froze. The sound came again. Click, from inside the house. I didn't turn around. I didn't need to, because the camera feed changed. Without warning, the view switched. The backyard disappeared, replaced by a grainy black and white image I didn't recognize at first. My bedroom. The angle was wrong, too high, tilted slightly downward. There was a camera inside my room, and it was pointing at me. I watched myself on the screen, sitting in the dark, perfectly still, eyes wide open. Behind me, in the corner of the room, something shifted. I stared at the footage, my breathing slow and shallow, terrified to blink again. In the reflection of my window, I saw movement, not on the screen, behind me. I squeezed my eyes shut for half a second, a reflex I couldn't stop. When I opened them, the image on the laptop updated. The man was no longer in the corner. He was standing directly behind me, so close I could see the texture of his coat, the unnatural stillness of his face. He wasn't looking at the camera. He was looking at me. I didn't feel his breath this time. I felt pressure. A presence so close it seemed to press the air out of my lungs. I stayed frozen, every muscle screaming, my eyelids twitching uncontrollably. That's when I noticed something worse. On the camera feed, I blinked. On the screen, my eyes closed. In real life, they didn't. I stared at myself blinking on the footage while my vision remained clear. My reflection was out of sync. The man moved again. Just a fraction. Just enough. The realization hit me slowly, like ice water dripping down my spine. He wasn't reacting to my blinking anymore. He was reacting to the cameras. The footage jumped forward by a single frame. And in that frame, I wasn't sitting anymore. I was standing, right where he was, facing the camera. The man was gone. The feed ended abruptly, the screen cutting to black. In the silence that followed, I finally felt it. My body exhaled, but I hadn't breathed in. I slowly turned my head toward the dark room, my reflection staring back at me from the black screen. It smiled.